You can sip the tea for more answers,
Your
or you
sister
can your sister. Yeah, go
acts
ahead.
like
Acts like a dead parrot.
a dead parrot. Oh my god, you're freaking kidding me.
Another
The
fire
alarm went off in my building.
Oh, that's funny.
Your wife.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the 16th episode of Two Geeks and a Noob. I am your host, SuperBeard Vince Hoover. Joining me is Lily, our resident noob. And I'm choking. Fantastic. Great way to start a podcast is to cough in everybody's ear. Q is not with us again today. His current work project ran over, so they're still working extremely long hours. He's also in the process of moving, so he's got a lot of shit going on, but he will be back soon, hopefully next week. So welcome everybody to Twitch. If you're there, if you're watching this on YouTube, please like and subscribe. Hit that notification bell so you know when new videos get posted. If you're following us on Twitch, please follow along. Hit that heart button. Hit that notification bell so you know when we go live there. If you're listening to this as one of the audio podcasts, please subscribe on whatever you're listening to, whether it be Anchor, Spotify, Google Podcasts, iTunes, whatever it be. Please subscribe. It helps us out a ton. Welcome everybody in the chat, and we're going to have a lot of fun. This is going to be a good time. But before we jump into episode 8 of What If, which was a big one, I want to address something real quick and put something to bed. So many of you who follow me on TikTok might have noticed that for a while I've been kind of like very sparingly posting. I've been very distant from the app for a bit, and mainly, part of that is just a lot of stuff going on, trying to build this podcast into something more, doing work, planning my trip, because next Wednesday I will be in New York, doing all that kind of stuff, rebuilding my house, all that fun jazz. But I learned today, one of the main reasons I've been off TikTok is because a lot of people tend to, even in fandoms, which isn't technically important, it's not political, it's not world-changing, it's not life-altering. It is just a fandom. But even then, people tend to go very overzealous without any true facts. I unfortunately responded to something that I didn't really want to respond to, but it just kind of became overwhelming, and I kept getting kind of tagged in these things and moved in these things. It's involving the debate over whether the Marvel shows like Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., Agent Carter, the Netflix series, etc. are canon or not to the Marvel Cinematic Universe. I don't care anymore. I don't. It's stupid. It's a dumb debate, and people are having legit fights over it. And 99% of everybody's arguments, whether they're for or against it, are in bad faith. Most of these people are not in the industry. 99% of them are not in the industry. They don't know how a lot of this stuff works. Many of them can't even understand context clues. They nitpick old, outdated evidence to support their bad faith arguments. They pull the political, a citation is needed, but then they provide evidence with no citation. So it's a lot of bullshit. So this will be the last I say on the Marvel canon. Whether that stuff is canon or not, honestly, I don't care anymore. We'll find out when we find out. Until then, nobody has the right answers. All I know is that I'm an author, I'm a screenwriter, but most importantly, I'm a journalist who works in the industry and has spoken to many people that I can't talk about yet because I indeed protect my sources and don't put out stories without them wanting me to put them out. And I would say that, not to sound egotistical in any way, but I know more than most people because of the job that I do. So with that being said, I don't want to hear any more about it. I don't care. So there won't be any more videos from me on the subject. Now, got that crap out of the way. Hi, Lily. How are you?
Hi, how's it going?
Oh, I'm great.
mean,
I'm fantastic. I'm awesome. I am in no way, shape, or form lit up, heated, or mad. No, I'm fine. It's like I said, it's put to bed. So
I'm fine. I'm fine. Everything is fine. Okay, I'm fine.
Yeah. I'm fine. Like when your wife says I'm fine. No, I'm fine. No, I'm doing great. Why is my audio spiking so much? That's crazy. Am I loud and heated? Is that why? Fuck it.
Really, I couldn't tell.
R.I.P. earbuds.
No, it's okay.
No,
We all have those days.
AirPods. Whatever. Fuck that. Whatever they're called. I'm old. All right. Let's have fun. This is gonna be a good episode.
Oh my gosh, was this a great episode?
Yeah, we had a good time. Now, it's not all good though. In the fact that this show unfortunately created a couple plot holes. But
Uh-oh.
by the way, on this, and again, I said I was going to put it to bed, but I have one more point to make. There is actually something to be said about, is what if canon to the Marvel Cinematic Universe? And there's a very simple answer to that. It's not canon yet.
Yet.
Yeah.
Big emphasis on the yet.
Yes, it is in the Marvel Cinematic Universe section of Disney+. However, so is the What If comics. They are under the Marvel Comics main label. But they are not canon to the Marvel 616 because you are telling alternate multiversal stories of things that have already happened. So this kind of helps the whole canon argument. What If is actually not canon. Now, there is rumors that these characters will come into live action and be folded into the Marvel Cinematic Universe. It doesn't make the stories canon. It makes their universes canon outside of the multiverse. And that's where things get a little bit touchy. But it makes the characters canon because they have then since joined the Marvel Cinematic Universe. But that's neither here nor there. That's just the last thing on that. But we right off the bat, we actually got something very interesting. The Watcher literally says that this story breaks his heart. So we see he's becoming emotionally invested. Question, have they ever actually said the name of the Watcher? No, they have not. And I do not believe this is Uatu. I know there's a lot of people out there that call this guy Uatu, which is the Watcher from Marvel 616, but I believe he is a separate Watcher. Because there's a Watcher for every multiverse. So...
Wait, I'm sorry. Are you saying there's one Watcher per multiverse? Because hasn't this Watcher watched? Are you saying there are enough Watchers to match every single multiverse or every universe in the multiverse?
No, I am saying there are enough Watchers to watch every multiverse. Here's the thing about multiverses when it comes to comic books and movies and stuff like that. There are a multiple array of multiverses. You see, the comic book multiverse, with the main comic book continuity being Marvel 616, doesn't exist at all in the Marvel Cinematic Multiverse. So none of the comics have anything to do with the Marvel Cinematic Universe or the surrounding multiverse that we have come to know now thanks to Loki and everything else. So there are multiple multiverses. So it's complicated, it's complex, and it is a easy way out writing trope. But at the end of the day, there is a Watcher in the comics named Uatu who watches Marvel 616. He watched the Ultimates universe, which is a separate, a more modern style of comic book telling. He was the one who saw the what ifs in the comic books. But there is another Watcher who watches what is basically the live action universes. Marvel 199999. Yes. Marvel 199999 is the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Now, that universe split into a multiverse. But at the center of that universe, the core of it, is Universe 199999. The same thing happened in the comic books. The core of it was Marvel 616, but then that expanded into a multiverse with the Ultimates and other universes, Marvel, like the one with the zombies, the Cancerverse, which was incredibly weird, all these different things. So there's one Watcher for that one, and then there's a Watcher now for this one.
Dyson Dishes mentions how there was 3 Watchers listening to Stan Lee, and that I remember. It's hard to visualize in my head how many Watchers there actually are. The way you put it made it seem like there's one Watcher responsible for looking over every universe, even though they can't interfere. It's like that's how it sounded to me when you first said it. But I think I understand now.
Yeah, it's not universe, it's multiverse. but there's multiple multiverses. So just like you have multiple universes in this one multiverse,
Okay. Yeah.
yeah, you have multiple multiverses.
Makes my brain hurt.
Yeah, it's a whole like pyramid scheme basically. But
And I've got comments in TikTok as well. Someone said Deadpool is the only Marvel canon we need at the moment.
oh, it's on its way.
Yes.
Deadpool 3 is in pre-production. That script is just about done.
Mhm.
So I'm excited for that. That's gonna be good.
Too.
I'm excited to see how they fold that in any way, shape, or form. Yeah, Monster basically put it. There's a 2D multiverse and then a live action multiverse. Exactly. And just like there's even like what they call the legacy, like on Disney Plus, you have all the Fox movies and all that stuff. Those are technically in a multiverse of their own, so they would technically have their own Watcher. Now there is talk of with the multiverse opening up of Marvel folding them into it. I don't think they're going to, but we'll see. But like I said, I did find it interesting, and like I said, we've built to it throughout the series how he's become more and more closer to the people involved. He went from being barely shown in the first episode to now he's literally fighting alongside people.
Yeah.
But I thought it was great too that he became emotionally invested. But this is also where the first plot hole comes in. There's 2 in this episode.
Mhm.
Do you remember how the last episode ended? He was doing the and then they lived happily ever after, and then Ultron comes through the multiverse and he
Yeah.
is thrown off guard. Like, what is that?
Yeah.
But in this episode, you see that Ultron finds his basically pocket dimension outside of the multiverse where the Watcher watches. He found him there, and they had a fight, and they didn't come into a universe until fighting. So that's a plot hole from one episode to another, which I thought is strange. The other plot hole, and I'll go ahead and jump right into it now, are the Infinity Stones. But this is of no fault of the What If animation crew,
Okay.
of the team behind
Okay.
it.
Let's save this for towards the end of,
Well,
of the talk,
it
actually.
kind of comes in. It kind of does come into to the early part of the episode.
I have a
but-
lot of questions about this one.
Yeah, but go. Let's start. We're in the beginning. We have Clint.
So why does he have a robotic arm?
Because why not?
So it's just a why not? There's no reference to any
What?
comic book. It's just
No, it's basically it's kind of a nod to the Old Man Logan story, where all the superheroes banded together and took out all the superheroes and then took over the world, or took over America basically.
uh-huh.
Clint lost an arm in that.
Okay.
In this is a post-apocalyptic world where every single nuclear warhead on the planet was sent off and exploded. Ultron launched every single nuclear warhead. So technically
That's right.
nobody should have survived, because they would have had to stay in that Quinjet out on the stratosphere of space for years before being able to come back down.
Yeah.
Because I mean, I think 2 or 3 warheads is enough to cover the entire planet in a nuclear cloud. But then to have what is probably, I think there's over 1,000 nuclear warheads out there in the world right now, having them all go off, that should have destroyed the planet. Not like legit destroyed the planet. Like, not in a, oh, nobody can live kind of way. I mean, no, like shattering the core of the planet.
Yeah,
should have
I
been
had
done.
my moments too where I was like, the inaccuracies, that's not how that works.
Yeah.
And anyone who is in the live stream right now that saw that earlier today remembers that moment where I was like, okay. But anywho.
Yeah. Exactly.
So Clint
But-
and Natasha survive. He's
Yeah.
got a metal arm.
Yeah, he gets wounded at some point, because we don't know how long it's been from the time he launched to the time of that moment.
Who provides the arm?
Well,
Tony?
it's obviously not a Tony Stark arm. It's very much not a Tony Stark tech. You can see that it was actually almost. It looks like it might have actually been built out of an Ultron bot. Like, it was very similar in design to the Ultron bot, so it might have been built out of an Ultron bot that they had basically scavenged.
Mhm.
No word on whether or not that was with Wakandan help or whatever. We don't know. There's a lot of unanswered questions there, but
Yeah.
it's one of those
it
unanswered
is
questions that
weird.
you kind of don't need answered, because it wasn't important.
But it's still fun to think about.
Oh yeah,
and
for
then
sure.
threw me for a loop. I was like, wait a second. Like, I like it, but okay.
My question is, when did Harry... Damn it. When did... Hold on.
You okay there, Grandpa?
Yeah. Shut up, fetus. Stuck on your binky and shut up.
Never.
When did Harry Potter become part of the Marvel Cinematic Universe?
I do not know.
Because Clint had an invisibility cloak.
Oh, that's right. I was like, I mean, wait a second. We know that the technology is available because S.H.I.E.L.D. still makes the, what do they call it?
Reflective panels.
Yeah.
But
Wait,
those
they
are
have
panels.
that.
This was a cloak.
Come on.
This was a straight up invisibility
on.
cloak. Like, this was a straight up invisibility cloak. So
I believed it.
I was half expecting.
I was like, oh, that's cool, but I wasn't.
I was half expecting Clint to pull an arrow out and then yell "Expecto Patronum." But
Okay, wait. Let's talk. Okay, biggest part for me that was so frustrating is when they upload. What is it? Oh gosh, I can't remember his name. Forgive me. It's one of those days. It's not Zemo.
Armand Zola.
Zola, thank you. Oh my God, that took forever. They upload Zola's consciousness into an arrow in a matter of seconds. Just, that's not how that works. That's not how that works.
I mean,
and then they go, let me just shoot this arrow into one of Ultron's bots and that'll work, you know?
Well, and honestly, it does work, and I'll explain why. One, in Captain America Winter Soldier, he explained that he was like, I think he was 2 terabytes of space he took. He was 2 terabytes of space. His consciousness was 2 terabytes of space.
Seriously?
I believe it was 2 terabytes.
Seriously?
Somebody could probably give me the full answer, but I believe it was 2 terabytes. And there are actually USB drives out now that are terabyte. So I would imagine that a
But
shield
you still cannot transfer data in seconds.
I will say that I can transfer a terabyte of data to my high-end laptop in a rather short amount of time. Now, when you add shield technology, which is above and beyond what anybody else has, including a flying hover aircraft carrier and reflective cloaking panels, and apparently a invisibility cloak, which you were okay with, but the terabyte that bothers you.
True.
So that arrow has a high-speed drive on it that is far above and beyond what any normal person's allowed to have. The arrow is not actually an arrow. It is a USB drive in an arrow casing, so when he injects it into the wiring, it's going to infect anything. That's your, so...
So the other part of this, and I know this is just one of those moments where it's like I'm complaining about the physics and bullshit of a show, because there's so much wrong with the physics and the action in the movies anyway, so why would I even bother? But when the first thing that came to mind with the robotic arm is that now technically he has more drawing strength, which means that arrows can go even further or farther. Someone grammar check me right now because brain no worky today. But he could shoot arrows farther.
I'm questioning myself now, but I think it's farther.
So, but we see him fully draw. I love how I do it volleyball style, where it's not, I'm pretending I'm pulling an arrow. I'm going like, we're going to serve. And he has to perfectly shoot this arrow into the eye socket so that we're saying USB is probably something else connects.
Yeah.
And, but with not too much force to the point where it will just split through.
Exactly.
The robot. Like, that moment I was like,
yeah, but obviously he would know how much drawing power he would need.
Yeah, he would. I'm just like stupid Marvel physics.
But so the big switch here was that the Avengers never got the cradle away from Ultron. So he was able to fully upload into Vision's body. And so this Vision isn't Vision, it's Ultron, because he never got, there was no Jarvis installed, there was no Tony Stark or Bruce Banner bits installed, really, except for what was already in Ultron. So this is a cold and calculated, Mind Stone wielding Ultron. What I found fascinating was he wiped out the Earth. Very few survivors left. Ultron or Thanos shows up. Oh, here's another plot hole. But oh, thank you for the follow, little dancing penguin. I added that. That's something new. I'm very happy about that. So Blink BT Dub. Thank you so much for the follow. I don't have a problem with how easily he took out Thanos. I'll explain why. But my problem here is that Thanos shows up and he's already got all but the Mind Stone. How did he get the Time Stone? My only thought, well, Lillian sent me here. I'm going to call you Lillian. Lillian.
My mom says my full name when she's really angry at me. So anytime someone
mom.
calls me Lillian, I'm like, what did I do?
It reminds me of Eddie Murphy Raw when he's talking about his dad singing Motown songs but changing the lyrics. His wife's name, Lillian. Anyway,
Dyson
anyways,
Dishes is more worried about the Soul Stone. You're gonna have to explain this to me. My brain can't keep track of everything.
He still could have brought Gamora with him to get the Soul Stone and threw her off. That's easily done. Gamora never leaves his side at this point. It's just, or she might have, but even still, he could still get the everything that happened with the Guardians of the Galaxy would have still happened. Because they had not yet met up with Tony Stark or any of the Avengers until after Gamora's dead. So that part can still happen. So he still gets the Soul Stone that way. But my only way he could have possibly gotten the Time Stone is that when he sent Ebony Maw and Call Obsidian to Earth, they found the Sanctum Sanctorum, obviously wasted out by the nuclear fallout, and just digged up the Time Stone. So that's a possibility, but don't know.
Dug up. Sorry.
What did I say?
Digged.
Did I really? That's awful.
No, you good. We all have our slip ups. I mean, me literally this time. But if I can remember, if I have the brain power to grammar check someone.
Yeah. All right. Yes, so here's the thing. So Nelson says he has a problem with Vision taking out Thanos so quickly. The key there is that it wasn't Vision. And it wasn't Vision that was blindsided by a stab through the heart while he's busy trying to pour his heart out to Scarlet Witch. It was Ultron, and it was Thanos who doesn't sneak attack. He made his presence known, and he simply used the Mind Stone to blast him in half, and I thought that was brilliant. Because a cold, calculated Ultron would very much do that.
Timing on that was perfect, too. I thought it was hysterical.
It's a should have gone for the head.
He went zoom.
Yeah, he went for the head. He went through both heads.
Ruthlessly too. I noted in the live stream earlier that he went bottom up, not the other way around.
He went dick first. Yeah, he was like manhood gone. Yeah. So he got the stones. He saw, and of course obviously with having all the stones, he very easily saw that there was an entire universe out there of planets that needed to be given peace, as he put it. Basically wiped out to nothing. So he started that crusade. My issue comes in. He hears the Watcher. The Watcher is telling the story of how awful it is that he's wiped out everything. And he can hear him, because obviously the power of the Infinity Stones. But then the Infinity Stones work outside of his universe, and they work in other universes, which according to Loki shouldn't happen. Once the Infinity Stones leave their universe, they don't work. And there's actually a scientific answer behind that because they are singularities that form the Big Bang of that universe.
Mm-hmm.
So outside of that universe, they hold no power. But people have to remember, and I had to tell myself this series was in development during Infinity War, before Loki was a thing. Loki was written after this series was most likely done, or at least close to done. Everybody had already recorded their voice acting roles and everything, because
Mhm.
animation takes a lot longer than shooting a regular movie or a TV show.
Yeah.
So that's a plot hole based around not having a completely fleshed out universe at the time. They had not fleshed out what their entire plan was at that time. So in diving into Loki escaped using the Tesseract. Well, how do we explain that the Tesseract doesn't help him anymore? How do we explain that it's now useless? Well, outside of its own universe, they no longer work. But this series was already done. It was already done. It was already in the can. It was already ready to go. So they couldn't go back and necessarily change that aspect of it. So it's a plot hole, yes, but it's a plot hole we're going to have to accept. Now, the only way I don't know if they're going to actually answer that question at all. They may just let it go. But they could answer it in the sense that by diving through the Watcher's pocket dimension, it connects them all, thus making it one universe via the Watcher's connection to every universe. So there might be a way to answer that. But what I did love seeing, and this is something that you very rarely see in the comics, if really at all, is exactly how powerful the Watchers are.
Yeah, that was nice. I
Yeah.
mean, the element of fear, as you talked about with last episode and the very last couple of seconds, I mean, that is the most real thing about it, because in a way he's underprepared. I mean, it is a great shock, but yeah, it was really cool to see all the sequences at the end. Like, we know that he is capable. We don't know how capable yet in terms of like, can he actually defeat Ultron on his own? He needs outside help, but words and thought with no end. Sorry.
Well, I look at it like the Watchers are such an incredibly powerful race of beings that supposedly they're more powerful than even Celestials. But they have taken an almost Tibetan monk-like vow of non-violence and non-interaction. That they all is like, look, we can watch everything at once. We have that ability because we're so powerful. We can watch everything. It's not like Hemdall, who can see everything but has to focus, like has to look for you, and you can hide from him. The Watchers are watching everything at the same time. They see everything all at once. They see every multiverse in their jurisdiction all at once. So with that comes great power. The one thing we've never seen before is a Watcher armor up. So seeing this Watcher put on armor was
they don't
badass.
have any fights in the comic
No,
book?
none.
There?
They don't fight. They don't, and they can actually technically be easily taken out because there is a comic book series called Original Sin. It's not a very good series. It was a big crossover event, but it wasn't very good.
Talked about
But
this
it starts with Nick Fury killing the Watcher
before.
and taking his eye to now be able to see all.
Mhm.
And he becomes the Man on the Moon.
Yeah.
And he becomes the guy watching over the universe. But he does this because Nick Fury is willing to get his hands extremely dirty for the sake of saving Earth. So he's wiped out whole planets to stop them from invading us. And the Watcher, obviously, he can't have the Watcher watching that because the Watcher, especially Uatu in Marvel 616, that guy interferes all the damn time. That guy's nose is in all of everybody's business. But I love how he was so tentative. Like, he had the ability, he could have easily just done as little interference as pushing that box off the shelf when they were trying to find Armand Zola's file.
I know.
And he was like,
still wouldn't.
he didn't do it, but he was screaming and he was like, basically like, you're right there, just get, but he's like, I can't interfere. And
Yeah.
finally it got to a point where Ultron attacked him in his own space and he had no choice. But I
Yeah.
did find that was interesting. I did like how Ultron, I like how Ultron Lieutenant
Cagliostro.
Diane. Lieutenant
What is-
Diane. You ain't got no legs. Um, Lieutenant Dan's got magic legs. So bad. He had the opportunity to wipe out all of existence in the universe once he had the stones, and he would have known to do it because you're given infinite knowledge thanks to the Mind Stone as well. He would have known he could have just snapped his fingers and did everything he wanted to do instantly. But no, he did it through sheer force. And that is the proof that was kind of missing from Age of Ultron, showing that, yes, he is a peacekeeping program, but the reality is he is it was a corrupted and psychopathic program.
You would think that he would do things efficiently.
Yeah, you would think the efficiently things, but that was why they talked about.
No, he's a freaking killer. He
Like
enjoys the slow destruction.
That's why he wanted to keep Black Widow alive as a witness and didn't just kill her, even though he wanted to wipe out the Avengers. He also needed a witness, and he also needed, there's that weird. And then when he does finish wiping out the universe, and this is when he learns of the Watcher, he's alone.
So this is my biggest issue with Ultron. No, like he learns after that. He learns after wiping out his universe that he will just be alone and things are going to suck.
Yeah.
So forgive me for being all directing-y, but when you are breaking down a character and trying to highlight the most important moments for them in a story, it's not the action but the reaction that counts. How does he react to now understanding that he is going to be alone in the universe forever? He just does it again. What? Does Ultron want to be alone in the universe?
He ultimately doesn't want to be alone, but you have to look at it like this. And this is going to get really dark, and I apologize. Look at the psychopathic child. The child who ends up growing up into a Ted Bundy or a John Wayne Gacy. The child that secretly sneaks off and kills animals. And, he pushes people away and he isolates himself. But he never wants to be alone. And he's, unlike a sociopath who is emotionless, psychopaths are actually not emotionless, and a lot of times are remorseful when they're done. If anybody hasn't watched it, I highly recommend people go and watch all 15 seasons of Criminal Minds. Fantastic show. And it really dives into it. And you hush your mouth. You're
just all 15 seasons, no problem.
Yeah. Well, and when you're done with that, watch all 15 seasons of Supernatural because you should. But regardless. Honestly, there's a lot of.
I'm physically incapable, but go ahead.
There's a lot of episodes of Criminal Minds you could just literally just pick. A lot of them are just they're one-shot episodes, so you could literally just pick up and watch. But they do a very good job of diving into the difference between sociopath and psychopath and a lot of that, and how a lot of times the reason that a killer, a psychopath, will then dress their victim back up and place them neatly. It's a sign of remorse because at the end of the day, they don't want to be alone. And so that's what you're getting out of Ultron, is that he wants to fulfill his program, his warped interpretation of the peace program. And that is his driving force. But he doesn't want to be alone, but not alone in the sense, I don't want to be alone. I want somebody there with me. It's I don't want my mission to be over.
So he's going to draw it out as long as possible.
It's like a soldier without war. People who come back from war and then they're like, they can't readjust to civilian life. So that's what it's not so much he doesn't want to be alone in that he needs somebody else's attention. He doesn't want to be alone in the fact that I need something to continue my drive. If I complete my mission, I have no purpose. He even says that. He's like, what is my purpose now? So finding out there is a multiverse that he can go and wipe out again through sheer force and take his time. It's amazing. Like, that's the ultimate gift, because it should be an endless multiverse. It should be something that never ends. He should always be able to have work. So, I did find it interesting that we had a reversal of the Endgame sacrifice.
Mm-hmm.
where Clint sacrificed himself instead of Black Widow.
Which I called
Um,
early on. I was really sad about it. The whole time it was just like, I swear if Clint doesn't make it out of this alive, come on. And here's the thing. For those of you who have not been following me on TikTok for a long time, for those of you who are new to the Twitch channel, you should know that I am a huge mental health advocate. And I take issue with this episode because of how Clint is just so ready to die and they let that happen, which is understandable, but I don't think it's right for this kind of medium of storytelling, for a show that is that includes children in its audience. Now, if it's a super deep, dark movie where mental health is a clear theme from the very beginning, sure. But I don't like how Clint's willingness to die for the sake of not existing was the motivation to let go and fall.
okay, so somebody who is also a huge mental health advocate, I'd actually like to comment on that. Um, I think that wasn't his reasoning at all, and that was his excuse to her. But the reality was he wanted her to survive, just like it's the same reason he had kind of like when he was fighting her in Endgame. He wanted to go because one, he had done bad things, but two, he really wanted her to survive. He wanted his friend to go on.
But
And he
they
was
don't
willing to sacrifice.
reinforce that at all.
Well, because you have a shorter episode, first off. So you only
But
have so
still,
much
they
time.
they still reinforce the whole "I don't want to be here" attitude.
Well, yeah, that was just like it was
Very
almost like
beginning.
you have to look at it like this. Like he says it, and like it's like I told you I was tired, but it was more like it was more the same as her. It was the same as her saying it's okay, and it was her saying that I've been alive for 5 years, knowing I need to make the sacrifice. Thank you. I'm not really real for the follow. I hope you are real, because then I want your follow to be real. We have a dancing penguin. You better be real, damn it. But it was a very shortened version of her saying the whole speech she gave to him before they even started fighting. Was that she'd been, I spent the last 5 years trying to figure out what I'm supposed to do. What is my purpose? How do I fix this? This is how I do it. I'm going to sacrifice myself. For him, it was like, yeah, he was tired and ready to give up. Back when they couldn't find Zola's name. He used that as like, look, I'm tired. But the reality was, it was like, I need you to go on. I can't live if my friend dies to save me. So I need to die to save you. And that's also it's kind of a fucked up thing to do.
So wait. Going with that track, the change in mentality that I can't live if my best friend dies. Do you think we're gonna see that in the new Hawkeye series?
There might be. I honestly feel there's going to be something. I think that might be why. If
There's
you notice,
got to be a call to it.
well, if you notice that in the Hawkeye series, his wife is not in any of the trailer.
No, she's not.
So there could be some PTSD issues that is causing a little bit of a rift in the family. And that might be why the kids are in New York spending Christmas with him, because he's now living in New York and not with them on the farm. So that's just a theory. I don't know anything.
Mm-hmm.
That's just a theory. Maybe I do know something. No, I don't. But it's just a theory.
Like,
I mean, I have talked to a couple people. I can't say anything. But I don't know anything. But it's a possibility. It's a theory.
Okay.
I do believe that Linda Cardellini is in the show, from what I understand. So
we will see.
Yeah.
Anywho, but it's interesting to think. Like, still, what's frustrating for me is, if how do I phrase this the right way? In this episode, the Clint that we see, he does not have his family.
No, they
all
gone.
Died.
Yeah,
they're gone. Which they do not touch on enough. I think they mentioned it. Like, I mean, it's obvious with the sequence in the very beginning, but his language, what they wrote for him, to show a very depressed character who is totally okay with unaliving themselves. There's no link to his grief for the loss of his family. It is solely just being okay with unaliving yourself and then doing it. I thought it was a little, just a tad bit out of taste. Okay, that's really my issue.
I would say that the main crux of that is the fact that you are limited on time,
Really,
and I
but really, I don't think so.
yeah, but you
And
have to
also,
realize
this
too
is being presented to children. Come on.
exactly why they didn't go deeper in the limited time they
I
had.
if
But you
I
have to
rewrote that,
you
go
have to look
ahead.
at it like this too. Um, Clint, when the snap happened, had no one. He became Ronin, and he very unhealthily dealt with his trauma by murdering a bunch of people. In this, he was with Natasha when everything went down, and he never left her side. So they kind of worked through the trauma of losing the entire planet together, because they lost everyone,
Yeah.
and they did it together. So you're going to have a different response to trauma when you have somebody to share it with. Because Natasha obviously was incredibly close with the family. I mean, hell, their newest son was named Nathaniel after her. She was obviously incredibly close with the family, but because they weren't near each other when the snap happened and he just went off and did his thing, they couldn't grieve together. So there is grief together, and it's going to be a different way of handling the trauma. But like you said, this is kind of aimed a little bit more on a younger side of the audience. So this is something that Disney's probably just going to tiptoe around.
Yeah.
Is it a great idea? Probably not, but I also understand where they're coming from. It's not a Doc McStuffins episode where you can go into, death and whatnot. It is a bigger story they're trying to get to. You have a very limited time, and so they're just going to kind of brush over it. And I get it. I
I
get
think
it.
they could have resolved that issue easily by just adding two lines and two different scenes of that to reinforce really where this depression in his character is coming from, rather than just leaving it as, I mean, I can't even call it unexplained, but a little more ambiguous in this episode. So that's all. That's all.
Yeah, I mean, a line or two of dialogue could have dove a little bit further into it. I get it. I get it. But I think part of it too was that they weren't wanting to focus on those two. Their story was a side story. Like, it was not important to the episode. It was important, but it wasn't the main crux of the episode. So, yeah, Dr.
McStuffins.
McStuffins. Yeah. So, a couple things I want to cover towards we get to the end of this. One, we had a huge Galactus tease. Huge Galactus tease.
What did I miss?
So, do you remember during the fight with the Watcher, where they were kind of like outside of all the space, so they're seeing like the galaxy spun together, and Ultron bites into the galaxy?
Yes.
If you noticed his helmet and the way it was lined up, it was like the horns of Galactus. It looked like Galactus's face as he bit down on the main planet of the galaxy. So it was as if Galactus was eating the planet. It was very much and I don't know if that was intentional. It had to be intentional because you're drawing.
It had to be intentional.
It had to be intentional. It was
Everything
drawn.
is intentional.
It was drawn. Like,
Yeah.
it wasn't like you shot it that way and somehow like somebody goes, "Oh, hey, did you notice?" No, it was literally like it was like, okay, draw it this way. Like, so now, because it was the only time his helmet looked that way. His shoulder things for some reason went up in this, and his helmet sat a certain way, and it looked like Galactus biting up, eating a world. So I thought that was interesting. And the other thing is that
cool moment, regardless. But like, yeah.
We see the recruitment started for the multiversal Avengers, but it started with Doctor Stranger Danger.
Yes.
And he is not somehow insane from being on his own, stuck in this little crystal. He's not. He was very smug and very much like, "Yep, now you know how I feel." Well, fuck you too. We got shit to do now. Like, stop being a dick. Like,
He
I would,
had a playful mood about it. Come on, he seems to
but
be
way too
enjoying
much. Like he should have been like he should have lost his damn mind. He was far too just like cool with it.
Yeah,
Like he's like,
I can see
yes.
that.
He's like, now you know how I feel. I was like, dude, what the fuck? All right. But I still
I
thought
want to go
I
back
thought
for
it
a
was funny.
second, really quickly. In the fight sequence between Ultron and the Watcher, they end up in New York, in
Mhm.
Times Square, and what is on the Megatron TV? Steve swearing himself
Oh, as a
in
president, yeah, that was one of
as
the
president.
multiverses.
Oh my God.
Yeah,
President Captain America.
yeah,
President Rogers.
yeah. There was a lot
Okay.
of
So
There
is
was
there a reference to that in the comic books that I don't know of?
yeah.
Did
He
you
actually
see?
he becomes Shield director. There is one point where he becomes president. So there's also a time like he turned down the presidency a lot of times. Like he was asked a lot, and
Mm,
he's like, no thanks, I don't want to be in politics. But there was a
mhm.
time in one of the comics where he did become president. I think it's not a what if, but it's more of a side. It's not a main continuity story, but he
Yeah.
did become like director of Shield, and Shield was kind of like in charge of the country over the president kind of thing. So he basically
Yeah.
became president without being president, and that also led to the Secret Empire one, where it turned out that Captain America was a Hydra agent all along. Um, but that actually
Damn.
but that actually turned out to be the Red Skull going back in time with the Tesseract and altering reality. It was a huge story, but it's a great story. I actually like that story a lot. I liked Hydra Cap. I thought it was very interesting. But
That's a lot.
regardless, but regardless,
Uh-huh.
it gets convoluted, but whatever. Yeah. So this, we thought this episode is leading to the the multiversal Avengers. And the Watcher has interfered. Dices and dishes. I would say enjoy going back to work, but that's a dumb statement.
Thank you for
But thanks for
joining.
popping in though. Make sure you watch on YouTube. We're gonna have a good game after this here shortly. The multiversal Avengers is coming. We figured this episode would at least tease it, which obviously it did. And so next week we'll get that crossover.
Wait. I thought this was the last episode
No,
of
no, we got one more.
what?
There's nine episodes.
Okay. So I had a dumbass moment. So do you think they're going to wrap all of this up into one episode, or is this going to continue into season 2?
I do believe it's.
I thought that the season 2 was going to start straight off with the new team.
No. I do believe that we'll get some kind of like soft ending, like it kind of like some kind of small resolution to the season, but more so set up, kind of like how Loki was. How Loki really just set up for season 2.
Mm-hmm.
But I think that's what's going to happen here. So we're going to get a big crossover, but it's going to end on a big cliffhanger, and we're going to have to wait for season 2.
Gotcha.
We're talking about What If having another episode. She thought What If was done this week. It's actually done next week. I will be in New York as we cover the final episode of that. So hopefully I don't have any connection issues. I don't know what the Wi-Fi is going to be like in the hotel. I might have to use my mobile hotspot. This could be an interesting episode to say the least.
We'll make it work.
Future, you asked if I'm going to do the new Marvel quiz from Mr. Sunday Movies. I saw that episode. I had thought about it, but it was incredibly stupid. It says 100% of people cannot answer this quiz 100%, and it's called the MCU ABCs. And each question, there was 25 questions, and the answer was going to be question 1. The answer started with A, like it was the answer. Whatever the answer was, it started with the letter A. Then the second one started with the letter B. But they were so stupidly answered. Like the answers, your multiple choice answers, it was so obvious that I'm like, nobody would miss a single question here. There was stuff like this wasn't the first one, but let's just say because Armand Zola starts with an A. So Armand Zola starts with an A. It's like, who was the guy who became a computer in Captain America Winter Soldier? Was it Armand Zola? Was it Adam and Eve? Or was it Abba Dabba Dubba? That was how the answer went. Like, it was very much like, It was so obvious that even if you had
I'll
never
have to
seen,
take this to see if it's stupid proof because sometimes I'm a dum dum.
it was one of those things that you could have never watched a single Marvel movie and you would have got 100% on his quiz, because the other two answers are so nonsensical that it's dumb. The only one that's like kind of hard is the Dormammu question for D. It's just they spell Dormammu differently. Yeah,
Okay.
but they spell it like Dora Mama, Dormammu, or Damarama or something like that. It was like this weird stupid. It was so stupid.
Okay.
In
There
New
you have
York
it,
this week. I go to New York next Wednesday. I fly in the afternoon. I should be there at 1 o'clock. Hopefully, they'll give me enough time to set up everything. Hopefully, we will be okay. So, but it might be a very like kind of like scaled back episode. I don't know how the internet's gonna be, but we'll see.
15.
Yeah, but
Hey,
okay.
I already
So
beat you. That's enough for me.
with that being said, I need to send you a new link.
True. Okay, so for everyone who is watching on TikTok, hello, thank you for watching, by the way. Join us here on Twitch at Two Geeks and a Noob. We're gonna stay live over here while we play this game for the second half of the episode. I need to end the live stream from my phone so that I could actually play the game with Vince over here. So join us on Twitch, Two Geeks and a Noob, and I'll see you there. Yeah.
Okay. So the game we are going to be playing is a game called Oh Sir, the Insult Simulator. If you haven't seen it, like a lot of people have played it on YouTube, you might have seen it there. Basically, it's a bunch of like old-timey people insulting people in old-timey ways, and you got to pick your insult by picking certain segments of a sentence. And I find it to be absolutely hilarious. The grammar Third Reich, as somebody called her over here in the comments. Maybe not so much, but I think that's even funnier to me, to be honest. Now, because she's playing mobile, I'm gonna have to pick her options for her. So I will be reading it out, but we're gonna play the sound, everything else. So as soon as she is in, I will go ahead and start the music. She's got to plug her earbuds in.
This is me suiting up. I can't even do a hair flip anymore.
Oh, I wish I had seen that.
Wasted moment.
Yeah. So I'm getting into the settings now. Who do I want to be? All right, you're in the game?
Yes,
so
sir.
You see my mouse moving? Going crazy? Okay, so hang on a second. Oh, no, wrong one. Sorry. Game time. My bad, guys. Sorry about that.
Please hold. Input is temporarily disabled while the host is busy.
Yeah, because Siri coughed. Okay, so we're in the game now. So we have... I just bought this, so I don't have anybody unlocked. So we only have a few characters, but I have Sir Knight. Lock. There's Albert. There's H.P. Lovecraft for all you racist. There's Mr. J. Shufflebottom and Miss Maggie. I'm going to pick Mr. J. Shufflebottom. No, I'm not. I'm going to go back to Sir Knight. I like him.
I'll be Miss Maggie.
Sir Knight,
okay.
At your service.
Given that she's the only
kids these days, TV, rap music, video games. He has more important matters on his mind than keeping up with the infantile new technology, fashion, and language, reading Shakespeare's latest book, winding clocks, treating his urinary incontinence. But everything changes when he realizes that kids look jealously at his old-fashioned clothes. At that moment, he decides to become a hipster. His weakness is, I cannot keep up with modern times. Keep that in mind. That is one of the ways to gain extra points in the insults if you insult him for his looks or technology. So that's who I will be. Now, and you said you'll be Miss Maggie?
Pretty please.
Okay, so let's read Mrs. Maggie. I'm sorry.
You can call me Mrs. Maggie, love.
Okay, then I will. She's seen things you people wouldn't believe. She fought wars, flirted with 2 presidents, composed a score for a naughty film, owned an arcade, and got stoned on the 20th anniversary of her menopause. For 10 years, she was in a gang and just recently retired. All these moments will be lost in time like tears in rain. Time to kick the bucket. Her days are numbered, so obviously being old and stuff like that are her weaknesses.
What were your weaknesses again?
Oh, if you weren't listening, I'm not telling you.
I was listening, but you're just a bad reader.
Nice try. I'm an excellent reader. It's a documented thing. Mine are like, it's technology and modern things. So we've got a pet shop, a train compartment, or by the lake. I'm going to click by the lake for the first game
Yeah.
because I like what it's about. It's cool. So
Okay.
here we go.
Good morning. Does this dead body belong to you by chance?
Of course not. I just borrowed it to put my teacup on.
You murdered this poor man to have tea on his rotting corpse?
How could I murder him when I was hiding in a shrubbery with my rifle the whole morning?
All right, you might have a perfect alibi, but you can't deny that...
Okay, so you've got your hovercraft, your cousin's car, your wife.
Your wife.
You're going to go your wife. Okay.
Everything is timed.
I'm gonna go your cousin's car. I don't know why. So your wife doesn't own a color telly. Is a grunty.
Doesn't own a color telly, please.
Okay. Your cousin's car is worthless. All right. Do you want to add more to it, or are you done?
I don't think I can.
You can always add "I bet" as an ending.
No. I want to keep that one. Is he?
Your car is worthless. All right, I'll just go with that's all I got for now.
Your cousin's car is worthless.
Oh, your wife doesn't own a colour telly.
Modern World, big hit.
Ugh.
All right. Okay, so I'm taking this one just because of you, Lily, your favorite Bond actor. So you got your sister, your husband, your hovercraft.
Your husband. Why not?
We're progressive here. Why not? Your favorite Bond actor looks like. So you got your husband is not interesting, has worse hair than, dances like.
Has worse hair than.
Okay. Your favorite Bond actor looks like your math teacher. Is worse
Your
than. You got your hovercraft or your sister.
Your sister.
And are you done?
Yeah.
Because I am done.
Your husband has
I could have
worse
said
hair
"and"
than
is not
your
interesting.
sister.
Yeah.
Or
Ugh.
I could have done the same
Your
thing, actually.
favorite Bond actor looks like your math teacher.
Yeah, we didn't do very well. Okay.
nah.
Your house, your face. That's all you
Your
really.
face.
I'm gonna start with your face. Okay. Oh, I'll go you. I'm gonna go right for you. All right, your face. You got smells of is
Your face has an unsightly
Unsightly
face.
face.
Oh my god, I love that.
has not finished puberty. Hurry up.
Smells
Oh, you ran out of time.
of. Sorry.
You have an unsightly face. So you want to go smells of?
Has not finished puberty.
Okay.
Your face has not finished puberty.
And do you want to add to it? And
And
okay. And I'm gonna sip the tea. And must be fun at parties. Your face has not finished puberty and smells
smells
of.
of
Okay.
young man. If I could get there.
Yeah, I got you. Young man. Learn grammar. Oh, because they're using it as like an expletive at the end.
Oh, an
And
African
smells
swallow.
of the African swallow.
Your face has not finished puberty and smells of the African swallow.
I try.
Ugh. You have an unsightly face and must be fun at parties.
Ooh,
Yeah, sarcasm. All
Your
right.
sister.
That's not your turn yet.
Aw.
But
God damn.
I'm going to take you. And I'll give you your sister. Your sister. You are worthless. So you've got
is
your
gonna-
sister, support, secretly adores, must be
Secretly
fun at bars,
adores.
secretly adores. You are worthless and
Your
secretly
math
adores
teacher.
your math teacher. And your son. Do you want to add? And must be fun at parties. Your sister secretly adores your math teacher and
Has no life experience.
has no life experience. Alright, I'm done.
You're kind of complimenting me with yours.
It's sarcasm.
Your sister secretly adores your math teacher and has no life experience.
Ugh.
Ooh, 13.
You are worthless, and your son must be fun at parties.
Rude. 22.
Damn.
Yes. All right.
All right.
Your husband, your mother. I would suggest your husband because you've already used it once, so it's a combo.
Your husband.
Okay. Your beloved auntie.
Admires pictures of.
Your looks like. Oh, farted on.
Your mother.
Damn it, I was going to use that. Your sense of style. Anything else?
And. Has bad breath.
Has bad breath. Is that it?
Yes.
Your husband admires pictures of your mother and has bad breath.
Ooh,
Only
your
10?
beloved
Yeah.
auntie farted on your sense of style, you cross-eyed, inbred muckspout.
Ooh,
No, that was only 13.
Oof. I gotta get a good one. All right.
No,
You.
but- Yep, it's my turn first. You got
Your
your
mother.
mother.
Your mother was a hamster. And your father smelled of elderberries.
Okay, your mother. You got is
I
dull and
didn't
is dull and
sure.
ugly.
It's dull and ugly.
Okay. You act like your sister is dull and ugly.
Can't add anything to that, can I?
No, you can either pause for next round, but I don't think you
Pause.
want to do that.
Yeah.
You want to
Pause,
just end it?
Pause.
Pause
Yeah.
Okay. You may not make it. You act like your sister. You color.
You
Why do you get
act
all the-
like your sister?
I'm kicking
you
your ass,
tottering
that's why.
Full-born hedge pig.
ooh. I confess, it was me who murdered this man. I needed his train ticket. Direct connection, first class.
First class? Then killing him for the ticket is understandable. But please, try to restrain from murder in the future.
Well, congratulations. Off to the train.
All right, well, let's do it again. This time, I'm gonna be Lovecraft only because he has very specific insults,
Okay.
even though he's a
Reading
piece of
that
shit.
down.
Have a minute to talk about Cthulhu.
For decades, he dreamt hidden but deep beneath the mystical seas of oblivion. His powers to directly or indirectly influence the sci-fi genre were growing stronger. You know who I am talking about. You shake in terror just thinking about him. And your pants turn brown when you finally dare speak his name. I'm talking about Howard Philippus Lovecraft. What? Philippus? Whatever. Known in our dimension as H.P. Lovecraft, he has come back to perform the ancient rites, more witty, fancier than ever. Bow now before his nasty tentacles. His weakness is terrifying vistas of reality.
Cool.
So you've got Albert, and you've got Mr. J. Shufflebottom.
Let's do shuffle bottom. Why not?
Oh, hi there. It's John
Shuffle this bottom.
Shufflebottom here.
Or not. Please.
I was about to say, like, Lily,
Nope.
John is a British. I'm gonna let it go. John is a British chap. This may be sufficient description, but it'll upset poor John because he aspires to be so much more. In his mind, he's a true gentleman, and a men's fashion expert. He really thinks that his sartorial column in Infield Today makes him one. But at least he smells nice, brushes his teeth, and can throw on an obscure local invective. As befits a British chap. Style is not something taken to take lightly. So your weakness is style.
Oh, chap.
So we've got the pet shop or the train compartment. We did the train compartment in the practice round, so let's do the pet shop.
Okay.
You're so agreeable.
I wish to complain about this parrot I purchased.
The Norwegian blue? What's wrong with it?
It's dead. That's what's wrong with it.
No, no. He's resting.
What's with H.P. Lovecraft?
Yeah, I know. That's like a Monty Python sketch, by the way, the dead parrot. All right.
Your face.
It's not your turn.
Mm.
I was going to take your face too, but I'll be nice. I'll be nice. I'll go your mother.
Your face.
Your face was born in, was defeated by, looks like, will soon kick
Looks
the bucket.
like.
Or is
Oh
silly.
wait, no. Your face is silly.
All right, I'm going to leave it right there. And you want to click and? You got and down here.
Sure, and we'll
Alright.
soon kick the bucket.
Okay, not bad. Let's see how it goes.
Your face is silly and will soon kick the bucket.
10.
Your mother gets turned on by tentacles.
What is with his voice?
He's from hell. All right, you're first.
Your wife. Tells dirty jokes at funerals.
That's not an insult. It's funny.
And do I have the ability and
You can sip the tea for more answers, or
your
Or you can-
sister
your sister Yeah, go
acts
ahead.
like
acts like a dead parrot.
a dead parrot. Oh my god, you're freaking kidding me.
Another
The
fire alarm?
went off in my building.
Oh, that's funny.
Your wife tells dirty jokes at funerals and
Well, there's
your
no way
sister
that I am
acts
going to
like
be able to
a
shut off the
dead
fire
parrot.
alarms to get rid of the noise.
We can deal with it. It's not that bad.
Ouch!
Ooh, that was
Your
18.
mother
You hit me hard.
is
I should
deceased,
probably
and the dead
go.
one still dreams in Relia.
I can't have evidence on the internet that I do not exit a building when the fire alarm goes
Alright.
off.
You go ahead. You go ahead and pop out. I have the game paused.
It's gonna be a while, I think.
All right. So I think what we're going to have to do is we're going to have to call it early. If Lily can get all this figured out, we may get back on Twitch later on tonight. We'll see.
We'll see. Hopefully,
yeah.
I will let all of you know. But
So yeah, we might jump on and do something else a little bit later on tonight. But we'll go ahead and call it an episode. If you have just another minute, we'll go ahead and say goodbye. Once again, thank everybody for paying attention. We did get this game. We'll play this game again next week, or maybe, I don't know. We'll see how it goes. I'll be in New York. But she's got to go. Everybody, thank you so much. Lily, say bye. I'll say goodbye to everybody else.
Bye.
Thanks everybody for tuning in. Ignore how I look. It's going to be weird. But once again, thank you guys for tuning in. Hang on. Let's do that. Thank you guys for tuning in. This sucks, but it happens. Please like and subscribe over on YouTube, here on Twitch, wherever you listen to your podcast. We greatly appreciate it. Thank you guys for tuning in. We're going to try and get back on Twitch later on after the whole fire issue goes away. So stay tuned. Keep an eye out on Lily's live. I may go live on TikTok as well to explain it. But if your notifications are on for Twitch, you'll know when we go live. So we'll see you guys next week. Like I said, next week I will be in New York. It'll be a very fun and interesting episode, and we'll see you then. Bye, guys.